Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to another tip of the week. And once again, Sylvia, I am Eddie, and we have something very important to tell you guys today in this tip. So go ahead and we can
Yes,
start.
so today we're gonna talk about how important it is for leads to lead and for the followers to follow. I'm sure those of you who have been on the social dance floor have experienced both ways when it's not right. So if you're a follower and someone's just jerking you around or they're not leading, they're just kind of expecting you to just follow, maybe like Sixth Sense, or I don't know what they're expecting you to have.
Yes.
But when you go, and Eddie, you've been telling me that you're still learning how to lead,
and like there is a lot of new moves whenever I'm trying to get comfortable with, that not only the movement but also leading the movement is just as important, if not the most important thing actually about learning that movement. I am very comfortable with different kinds of move that I can lead, the follow very easily and comfortable. I think patience comes with that as well. I think it's very needed. What do you think?
Patience, and also with what followers often make a mistake is trying to backlead, especially in class. If the teacher is teaching a certain pattern, the students, they know the pattern. So like when they're dancing with the leads, they're like, oh, I know what to do next. So they're just kind of like backleading, and by that they're not helping you, because you gotta learn
Very
how to
important.
lead. Yeah.
Very
So that's what we focus on in classes, is to make sure we get the followers to understand that, first of all, you're not helping the lead by back leading, and second, you're not learning. You have to learn to follow what you're being led, and that's very important, because if he messes up and he leads you something else, you better follow, because otherwise it's gonna look very awkward. Right? So I always say,
That's
like, if
true.
you're on the social dance floor and if someone, that's the thing that gets me all the time, is people being offbeat, and that's a very hard thing to learn. But a lot of times leads are offbeat. If they are, the follower just has to go along, because unless you're friends and you can say, hey, you're offbeat, which a lot of guys won't accept that very well. So
I'm
just
one of
just
those.
just follow, because it's better to be wrong together than one of you being wrong and the other one, but it just looks messy.
That is true.
Now if the person is closer to you and you're friends, you can say, hey, you're offbeat, or try to correct them. But generally on the social dance floor, it's not a good idea to correct people, because most of the time my experience is that they don't take it very well,
That is very true.
unless they asked for it, right?
That's very true. Sometimes you have to break out of the whole class vibe when you are in these events, and just enjoy the moment and really feel the music while you are there. If you're really focused on fixing how this girl is following, or if this girl is focused
Right.
on how you're leading, then that connection is lost,
Right.
and then you lose the whole reason why you're out there, which is
Exactly.
to enjoy and practice.
Exactly. When you're out social dancing, it's all about having fun and enjoying it, and it's a learning experience. Trust me. Like, it's every time you dance with a different partner, you're learning something. You're
That's
learning
very
how to, because if you know a certain set of moves, right? So let's test it on a new partner and see if I can actually lead them well, and if she can follow. And for the followers as well, like, I always like to challenge myself and dance with like really good dancers, and just to see if I can follow their moves. But speaking of leading, it's very hard, and I know that from when I started learning how to lead, it's really hard on you guys on
It
the
really-
leads, because not only you have to know your footwork, but you also have to know how to lead it, and that's way too much to think about.
Keep your frame, and and know where it is that you want to lead the female to, and that's sometimes
Yeah.
it's really hard.
So, and what I would suggest is, when you're in class, make sure when the teacher is explaining the followers part, you're listening and you're watching very carefully, because the more you know about where she needs to be, the better lead you are.
That's very true. That is very true. So it definitely goes both ways, I feel. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I became a better social dancer when I learned how to lead, because I got more into the technical side of it, and I knew how the lead works, and then I knew better how to follow. So don't, don't like look away and start chatting with someone in the class while they're explaining, the opposite part. Like, make sure you're actively listening, and at some point even like try to do the opposite part.
Like, that is one of the things too that I need to add, is that for most parts when we go out there to social dance, right, and we have like these great local dancers, instructors, they normally are focused on just teaching you the leading part of it. But when you're in a classroom, it's different. The instructor focuses on both, and that's what I've seen, at Salsa with Sylvia a lot, and that really helps out, to really stay engaged, and not only that, but understanding what happens on both ends.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I'm just gonna say that again with learning how to lead. And that's why I always say, like, drill your basics, because once you're comfortable with the footwork, then you can focus more on leading these different moves, right? So it's very important that you manage to establish a connection with your partner, and it goes both ways, right? So you have to have that little bit of tension in your shoulders, in your upper body, so that when your body moves, the follower responds, and the other way around. The follower has to have that tension.
Very true, and that is a great way to test each other.
Right.
To see your level, and that way you go according to that. Because a lot of people will tell you like, oh yeah, I don't know how to dance, but they do have a great frame, and they give you the same amount of movement, right? And you have the opposite way as well, where they tell you, oh, yeah, I'm good, and then you have the spaghetti arms.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes people have, unfortunately, that false, the kind of like assessment of their level, and that's they would think that they're way ahead than they actually are. But like the easy way to test that is go out and lead, like if you're a lead, and lead different followers and see how they respond. If 3 or 4 followers are not reading your moves, then maybe you should ask yourself, am I actually a good lead? And maybe go back to the basics a little bit. That's and correct. Really learn the essence of the move, and know where your partner needs to go. That's key. You got to know where she or he needs to go when you're leading someone. So it comes with practice, but it's very, very important to give a good lead. Like, and I always say, like, I don't care if you know 1,000 moves. If you don't lead them well, and if you're not clear in your lead, I don't care. I'd rather.
That's key right there. That's key right there.
For me, as a follower, I'd rather dance with someone that knows 10 moves, but they're very clean and very pleasant to dance with. They're not, pushing me and pulling me, and I mean, I've dislocated my shoulder not dancing, but like I'm very cautious. So if I feel like someone's very forceful, I just don't want to ever dance with them. And this is what you want. It's like you want to get to the point where the followers, they want to dance with you, because they say, he's a great lead, and he's very pleasant to dance with.
Yeah, like I've grown from being the overthinker, fearful student dancer, right, to now like having follows wait for me until I'm available so they could dance with me, and
you should be proud of yourself.
I put in a lot of work into that, and so I'm really proud of that. Like I hold it very dear, and once you get to those levels and you understand everything that we're trying to explain you guys, is so rewarding, and you understand the chemistry of the dance, whether you dance salsa, whether you dance bachata, right? And it's just so awesome that you can actually have so much fun connecting with another person and just moving and just following the music, feeling the music.
Yeah, and go, yes, like you said, beyond the point where you're focusing on your steps, and you can literally, like, I've danced with people that you can see it on their faces, you know, like, what's the next step? Am I on beat? Who's watching me? And, you know, if you guys want to hear us talk a little bit more about that feeling and how to overcome, just find the other video that we did on this topic.
Very true.
So we go on and on about how to overcome intimidation in one of our other tip of the weeks.
Yes.
So
I'll link it somewhere on the screen actually. You can click on it and go watch that video.
That's awesome. So I hope we are helpful with this
and guys,
these tips, and
please let us know if there is anything in a specific, like if you have any comments about something that you had to experience while learning how to dance, or if you feel that you went through something that you overcame already, let us know so we could talk about it, you know. And here's you know, we have a great teacher to give us all the juice, you know.
Thank you.
I'm also learning as well, you know. I'm still a student. You know,
I mean, I was telling you just before we started recording, I'm still learning. Like every time I go out dancing, I'm still learning. I'm actually taking bachata classes at my own studio. So, you know, you never stop learning, and never think you're done, like you're the best and there's nothing else for you to learn. Always take advantage of these workshops at congresses in your area, classes, you know, anything that you can just, every class, even if you're going back to the basics, you're still learning. If you think you're more advanced and you go back to a basic class, focus on something else that you haven't been focusing on. Like this time I'll focus on the lead. Don't squeeze, you know, the followers' hand. They don't like that. You know, followers, make sure your frame is not heavy. Like keep the weight of your own frame. Don't, you know, lean on the lead. You know, they may be stronger than you, but that doesn't mean they're there to do a workout. You know, that's not the time for them to do a workout. So maintain your own weight. Be careful. That's a common mistake for followers. Like when I lead, I find a lot of followers, they're super heavy, like they literally like lean on you.
They drop their weight on you, like, I've had that too also.
And you know, just make sure you kind of keep your own, the weight of your arms to yourself, because then these leads, they're not gonna want to dance with you. I mean, it goes both ways.
Yes, that is correct. Like I've had situations where I'm like, I will remember this her person, because if I dance with her again, I will know what's gonna happen, and hopefully she learns and she changes it. Or if I see it again, I try to avoid, you know, dancing with this person, and I just move on to the next person. You know?
Right. I mean, but that's what happens when people just think, okay, this is it for me in learning. Like I've learned it all, and it's not true. It's like you can always, like you said, that person, you know, I don't know, months from now, maybe you dance with them again, and you're like, oh, you know what? Like she's much better. Like she's
for sure.
So all of that,
and
like Eddie said, if you have any other experience that you've had and you want us to elaborate, and please keep watching our Trick of the Week videos where we actually show and talk about all these different techniques, and just subscribe, guys, and we're here for you to just give you as much good content as possible.
That is correct. And once again, our very own Sylvia, I am Eddie, and guys, we're here for you guys, and let us know in the comments if we could talk about anything else you'd be interested in. Follow our social media. I leave all the links in the comments as usual. I'm sorry, in the description. Right. So that's it.
We'll see you next time.
Guys, take care.
Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you react, comment, and share. And also, make sure you turn on your notifications so that you can be the first one to get notified when we post new content. Remember to go on our website, www.salsawithsylvia.com. That's where we post our classes, our workshops, and a lot of other good stuff. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.